small town USA, you may have noticed a new trend. You may have noticed these larger barns are being built with living space in them, also barn space, and they are becoming more common in rural USA. There are several names for what these structures can be called. Generally in the insurance industry, we refer to them as barndominiums. It can be shortened to barndo or maybe even shouse. If you have built one recently, or maybe you know someone that has built one recently, you know the uniqueness of them, kind of the cool layout that they can have. However, they can be a little more challenging to insure. A barndominium, simply put, is a house and a barn that's put together. Rather than building your new construction house and adding a sizable pole barn at the same property, it's just putting the two together. There's a lot of misconceptions of what a barndominium can be. Just because it has a metal siding and metal roof does not mean in the insurance world that it's a true barndominium home. One of the key elements that we're looking at is what is the framing of the entire structure, specifically the living area. Is it a traditional 16 to 24 inches on center, or is it a traditional barn construction where it's 6 feet to 8 feet? If it's the 6 feet to 8 feet, that is definitely a barndominium constructed home. If it's the shorter distance, every carrier may be a little bit different with how they interpret that. So normally the living space in a barndominium has a very open layout. It's just built on a concrete slab, and it's kind of the same framing throughout the entire structure. From the owner standpoint, it's normally a smaller cost. Again, rather than building the two separate buildings, it can be a smaller cost to put it all together as one and frame it all as a barn. So it's less cost to build, and therefore the insurance then will reflect that lower replacement value. Again, there are lots of pros and uniqueness to barndominiums, and that's why this trend is growing. However, the insurance industry can be a little slow to adapt at times. So there are several challenges that some insurance companies have with insuring these structures. The first would be that they're in rural locations. You're never going to see a barndominium in an urban area, so it is rural. So that in itself kind of separates, some different companies really specialize in that location. Others say, yeah, we're really looking for, suburbia USA. Also, with it being a newer trend, there is less data that is out there on these structures and how they handle during claims, tornadoes, high winds, hailstorms, etc. And the insurance industry runs on data. Their team of actuaries is the one that's in the back to try to calculate what that accurate premium is, what it makes sense, how much risk is there for the insurance companies, and therefore how much you need to pay for the insurance. But when there's not data to support it one way or another, a lot of insurance companies may just take a step back and say, we aren't interested in insuring these homes at all. But that also leaves a market of insurance carriers that are then competitive in this space that say, we do rural homes, we do barns, we do a house, it's not that confusing, we can find a competitive solution for you. But from the data standpoint, there are carriers that are concerned, again, with how these structures will hold up, especially being rural. How do they hold up at the time of high winds and tornadoes? Also, with the characteristics of the home, there are several other, kind of domino pieces that can often follow. Sometimes it's wood-burning stoves. That can cause issues for carriers, especially once you're talking rural homes. There can also be, is there farm exposure? Is there farm equipment stored in the barn? Like, why do you need that much storage space, barn space of the home? Is it because of farm related? Is it because of commercial related? Do you own a business and storing equipment? Those types of items can impact a standard homeowner's policy. A lot of our insurance carriers that we work with are willing to listen to the story and kind of just want to know big picture what's going on here. And we are oftentimes seeing a lot more of these barndominiums do not have that farm and commercial exposure as well. So if you or someone you know is looking for barndominium insurance, we have several options that will do it very competitively. We have national and regional carriers that will come in. They will ask a lot of these questions that we've talked through on here. They want to make sure they're understanding the big picture, understanding all risks and exposures involved, but then they are willing to provide coverage and will often do it at a competitive rate. If you found this video useful and would like to follow more of our content, you can like, follow, or subscribe to our YouTube and social media pages.